When the director narrated the script for our second feature film, which is NVM, we were pretty excited because there was this character with a folk music background and this character was performing with a band, and that factor instantly pulled us into the project.
The idea of travel and music together has always inspired us. With the script we were able to blend both together.
The story was narrated by means of a road trip, which meant it needed a song to set the tone for the road trip.
For us, the idea of making a song is to tell a story. Right from the beginning stage, we were inspired to make a folk track that would completely represent the journey of the movie.
We approached composing this song like how we would approach an independent song, which meant the lyrics and the tune, they just came together.
And once we came to know that there's going to be a lorry traveling throughout the movie, and especially in this song, we were imagining the lorry going up and down, and we came up with a rock and roll arrangement to this folk track.
Kaligalam was a studio recording in Crimson, where we had the chance to mic up an amp.
We had Josh playing electric guitars for this track. Though his performance was very energetic, I wanted a very light-hearted guitar tone to suit the song.
And the interesting thing was, we actually ran my guitar without its battery, and that actually gave a very different sound compared to what it usually gives, you know. Now, it wasn't running at full power, but just enough power to deliver something different.
There were so many things happening in the song. For one thing, we had instruments like tawil and nadaswaram within a rock and roll arrangement.
We had Venkat on tawil and Bala on nadaswaram playing like a proper South Indian folk section. On the other side, we had Jaira Kavi, Keba and Josh playing a complete rock and roll section.
And we also had some crazy ideas like trying out blues riff on a nadaswaram.
So we just went with the flow, and this whole mix of South Indian folk and rock and roll was just an exciting experience.
Every instrument in this song had its distinct place in the mix, unlike other rock songs where each instrument fights for its place in the mix.
Right from when we started to compose this song, we wanted a voice like Shankar to sing it. And as the song grew on us, the prospect of recording Shankar grew more and more. And finally, when it happened, it was just amazing.
We played the song to him and he came up with his own improvisations, and even some parts he sang like how a nadaswaram player would play.
When you work with someone who has inspired you all along, it instills something magical in you and spiritually motivates you to chase your passion.
This song is, something which is definitely up my alley because I love this whole feel of the guitar. It's such an acoustic-based track. Hey, sutrum bhoomi engale kette mella suralume.
When we wrote this song, we wanted a happy, cheerful person to sing this song.
And when Prashant and Harish called me for this project, I've heard their previous work. And I was very excited to work with them because, independent musicians doing film music, it's a different breed, and they like you and cast you for your voice. And that's why I could sing the song with ease.
Recording someone like Billy Nair for this song was a lot of fun, and that's what the song is all about.
The song, however simple it sounds, there are many different, dimensions to it, and they say the most simplest things are the most difficult things to do. So it's amazing how Harish and Prashant have conceptualized this entire journey of this little, sweet little song, I would say.
Keba Jeremiah has played all forms of guitar on the song. He played acoustic, electric and bass. It's always fun working with Keba because you never know what's going to come out at the end of the session.
It's such a fun and up-tempo track, and I really had so much fun playing guitars on it. And especially since Millie's vocals were on it and Harish's vocals, it really brought a lot of life to the song.
The amiable rendition by Millie Nair strikes a contrast with Harish's energetic voice. Even after I finished the mix of this song, I still felt Harish's voice could sound larger and better. So we had gone to different studios, tried out different microphones to suit his voice. One day we ended up at AM Studios, recorded his voice on the Neumann U87 and fit perfectly.
We had a lot of fun in the studio. There was also the director who had come for the session, and we were all smiling at the end of it. So when that happens after a session, it's a good vibe. So I had a ball.
There was this segment in the movie which handled the emotional confrontations between a mother and daughter, and this required a song.
Yaar is a very soulful track. It's very surreal.
Yaar is a song with a very 80s analog sound.
Even though the core emotion carried in this song was pain, we wanted to add a tinge of hope to it.
Ever since we heard her independent album, we always wanted to work with her. Nandini Sriker is someone who knows every aspect of music production and brings in a strong identity to the song.
Yaar is a very emotional song, and Nandini's vocals were really captivating right from the moment I heard the track.
When we wrote the chorus of the song, we had a very simple harmony to it. But she came up with a completely different harmony arrangement, and we tried it out and it really elevated the song. Mudiyum varai aatammundu vidiyum varai vaalvom ingu. When we write guitar parts and solos, we write them keeping people in mind. Josh is definitely one among them.
It's very interesting because I've had some chance to experiment with different effects on my guitar, some crazy delay settings and things like that. There are little clean parts, there are some distorted parts, there's a heavy part, So Yaar is a little very slightly psychedelic, I guess. So there's a bit of a Floyd influence in here and there.
At the pre-production stage, we were very clear that we wanted to track live drums for all the songs. And Jaira Kavi was the answer.
Tracking drums with Jairo is something that we always wanted to do and we always look forward to. This time we hit some impulsive ideas that we wanted to try out in the studios.
The drums in this song needed to sound indefinite and larger than life.
Jaira Kavi is telling a story in this song, and every hit has got a meaning.
We required a singer who could get themselves into a serene space and sing the song. And after recording Nandini Sriker, we knew that no one else could have done the job better.
Any album would be incomplete without a hopeful end to it.
This is a song where a folk singer performs the band.
This being the last song of the film, we wanted everybody to walk out with a smile.
My first ever experience of working with Madley Blues was in Nerungi Vaa Muthamidathe for Lakshmy Ramakrishna's film.
So selecting the vocalist for this song, Yarum Pakama, was definitely a challenge. We were looking at someone who would sing it in a very folky way, but at the same time we wanted to keep the whole emotion surreal and not realistic.
I had to project my voice in a very different way, in a manner that I was not used to so far. It helped to have somebody like Harish teaching me this particular song, because he projects his voice across and it can pass through several layers of concrete. So that's a sort of throw that he has.
So we wanted to tap a very different facet of Chinmayi's voice, and we wanted her to break from her usual style and try something different. And Chinmayi too was very patient with us. She clearly understood what we expected with respect to this song and nailed the song to perfection.
Violin is definitely one of the most important instruments in this song.
Karthikeya is a bandmate, and bringing a band sensibility to it was a very natural process.
Harish and myself were jamming. We played together in the same band, so we were just jamming in a studio, and then suddenly he was like, "Do you want to come check out this new song that we are working on? Maybe it would be nice with some violins." So yeah, so I took my violin. We went to Harish's place where Prashant was there already on sitting on this project.
Once we had the idea of tracking violin, we called Karthik. He came and we discussed our ideas and the melodies that we had in mind. He even improvised on them, added some to them, and then the song was done.
Whatever we got within the first 20 minutes of us sitting on the song, we recorded, and finally that was what was on the record as well.
When we saw the first draft of the film Nerungi Vaa Muthamidathe, we started thinking of themes for different characters and different scenarios of the feature film. One of the most exciting prospects right from that stage was to work with the Chennai Strings Orchestra. 2, 3, 4.
We wanted to have a title track that would take people into the story and set them up for what they are going to experience. And even when we were creating this track, we knew that Navneeth would come up with some very interesting ideas to capture the music.
The core emotion of the film had to be handled in a very delicate manner, so we settled for a 12-piece string orchestra. There had to be a certain amount of proximity which needed to be established between the audience and the string orchestra. So we actually recorded the full section in 5.1. As well as a Blumlin pair right in the center of the room, which actually captured the full orchestra as a whole, which gave us the full perspective of the string section.
One thing I find always about Madley Blues music is that there's always a fresh perspective.
It's always fun to work with these guys. I can keep going on and on, trying, experimenting with different tones and different guitars and putting in a lot of my own ideas.
Sound for me is something which defines the emotional landscape of music, and Madley Blues is a journey where we travel together to experience this.
Ever since the inception of Madley Blues, we always wanted to collaborate with so many musicians and make music. The best part of doing what we do is the fact that we are able to bring so many creative minds together. And the result of this collaboration is what makes the record.
For Madley Blues, music production is expression, expressing ideas and emotions, and the people who we collaborate with are all part of these emotions. So we are very happy to have started a journey that would help us to capture and register what we believe in and our ideas, which will eventually go on to define ourselves and our life.